For myself, diagnosis is the Greek word that means to know the thing by which one can know through, or no, I have put that very wrongly because it is tricky to put Greek terms into English terms, but a diagnosis, through a diagnosis, you can see something, you can know something, you can understand something. So for me, it was a point of reference where I can read about the patternicity of my mind, because even though I firmly believe that my mind and brain is very individualistic, I also know that it is a human brain as well, and therefore abides by the same patterns and neurological habits that everyone else abides by. So that has allowed me to find some identity with it, but also awareness that the responsibility of having that identity is to know that it's not quite by this dichotomy where I am a neurodiverse person and everyone is a neurotypical person, because that can be a bit precarious, where you begin to perceive yourself as different, or as a different tribe or group from everyone else, and that was precarious for me. So that was the responsibility I took on for myself, to be aware of that possibility, and to be as firm as I can in also associating myself with everyone else as much as possible, whilst acknowledging this part of my idiosyncrasy. So that the series has offered me a lot in my perception of that.
Hollie Hughes,
myself.
I can see you smiling away at Jayden's response.
Oh, it's just lovely. I mean, I adore the program. I think everyone's just, you know, it's so beautiful for people that don't have first-hand experience with autism to get to see the personalities of, you know, and I think Nicole would agree with me here. We tend to use the phrase "our kids" because we do see ourselves as part of a community. And Jayden, Michael, all the boys and girls just do a beautiful job, you know, throughout the series. But the beautiful thing, I think, about not only Love on the Spectrum, but also some of the other shows that showcase autism, and one of the ones we didn't mention was Everything's Going to Be Okay, and that actually does have autistic actors in it, and the character of Drea is just wonderful. But it is important that there's a saying in the autism community: if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Everyone is very, very different. And we need to make sure that the whole spectrum is recognised, and we don't fall into a trap somewhere that they're being stereotyped into the physicist, you know, the physicist or the savant, because we do have people with autism, with very severe autism, with non-verbal autism, with very, very significant challenges.
Hollie, I suspect most viewers won't know your story or your son's story, but what can an experience or viewing something like this, seeing it on a public stage, do for a young person living on the spectrum?
I think, well, my son's at 12, so he's probably still not quite grasping it. But we've always talked about autism and him being autistic the same way, you know, as someone has blue eyes or they're funny or, you know, whatever it might be. It's just part of who he is. It's never been something that we as a family have ever felt that we didn't need or want to talk about and acknowledge. And I think that's not the same for all families. So I think normalising it, if that's, you know, no doubt the wrong word, but showing that people with autism have so much to offer, that they are full of love and affection, and they are funny and wonderful, and some of our favourite human beings on the world, in the world. I mean, they are just never cease to amaze you and bring so much joy to your life. And the more people that get to see that, the more people that get to experience that, and the more people that get to see their minds opened up. Because if you don't have any personal experience, you might not really know what autism is all about. And so this can really help break down any stigmas, give families the confidence to go out if they do have a child with autism, and for autistic individuals to own that autism and be proud of it.